Paul finishes in verse 13 this section by going back to how he started in chapter 3 verse 1. Again, Paul reminds the church in Ephesus how he was suffering for their benefit on behalf of them. So let me read verse 13. I ask you therefore not to be discouraged because of my sufferings for you, which are for your glory. Paul is in chains. Paul has and is suffering. The reason he's doing so is for the benefit of the Ephesian Christians, for the Gentile Christians. Right throughout the Bible, suffering and glory are held together. So Jesus said, I'm going to enter my glory through suffering. And that is the path that all of us, his followers, are called to tread as well. But here Paul says something a little bit different. Now he's saying, I am suffering for you. He's going through the hardships for their benefit, which for their glory. And here, of course, Paul is particularly special. He has been given a particular mission to be the apostle to the Gentiles. So we might expect that he would be willing to go to quite extreme lengths for them. But I think the principle still applies for us too. That's something that is so central for Paul meant that he was willing to suffer for them is the same for us. And that the church is the most important thing in this universe. That's the point that Paul has been making time and time again through this letter. And if it is so central, so important, then it is worth us suffering for. What might that look like for you and me today? Might it look like for us to suffer for the benefit of other Christians here? You know, maybe it's a suffering of our time and our emotional energy. Maybe it's picking up the phone to have that conversation with a brother or sister. Maybe it's getting onto Zoom for the Bible study when you've been on Zoom or on the screen all day and you just want to switch off for a little while. But sacrificing your time, your energy for the benefit of others. Maybe it's a practical way that you might be able to serve somebody, and particularly through this lockdown. There is that challenge for us are we willing to suffer for the benefit of the church, suffer for others in the church family? But it is so worthwhile doing, and we are following in good footsteps, following ultimately the Lord Jesus. We're following Paul to that same thing as well.